Hope you can hear me okay. I tried to adjust all the things for the microphone properly this time. And if anybody who's watching this back, hopefully you will, because hopefully it works. Please, well, I don't know. Tell me something about dolphins. Tell me something about dolphins in the chat, in the comments. Let's see. I don't know how many people we're gonna get, but yeah. You wanna try a social experiment?
Oh, I'm good.
You wanna try it? Hey, friendo. Can you hear me okay? Hey, Donna. Nice to see you. Can one of you confirm that you can hear me okay? Can you hear? I can hear you. Okay. Okay. It seems like the problem wasn't the dongle, but the microphone. So these new microphones that I bought are a bit shit. Apparently, they were more expensive but more shitty. But yeah, let's hope we get some people. Hi. You want to try a social experiment? I'm just asking you some questions, get you to think. You want to try it?
Oh God, am I gonna be?
It's live on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, yeah.
Are you okay?
Sure.
What's your name?
Come on, Mercy. Andy.
Andy. I'm Chip. Nice to meet you, Andy.
Chip. Nice to meet you.
So I'm gonna. What do you? How do you feel about oppression?
About oppression or depression?
Oppression.
How do I feel about oppression?
Are you for it or against it? I know
Well,
it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm probably not for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Not
Do you think
into
that?
oppressing people or anything.
Exactly. Do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
Of course not.
What if they get benefit from it? And by they, I mean the powerful.
The powerful benefit from oppressing the oppressed?
Does that make it right?
No.
Okay, and what if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed?
Well, it still doesn't make it right.
Still doesn't make
you
it
need
right.
an advocate.
Okay,
not
I
an
appreciate it.
oppressor.
Okay, so given all this, how do you feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us?
No, I'm not in agreement, and you're going to ask me if I'm vegetarian. I know, factory
But
farming.
do you think we're oppressing them, first of all?
Yes.
Okay. And what is, like, because you said you're not vegetarian or vegan, what is holding you back from this? I'm
From
here to help you.
becoming?
From becoming one, yeah.
Well, no, actually, I probably enjoy the vegetables on my plate more than the meat. We were just
Perfect.
having this conversation not long ago, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's just the way you grow up, and just I don't know. I grew up on a farm in Saskatchewan. I know where I know where our food comes from. I mean, I'm pretty old now, but you know, farming practices have definitely changed
Yeah, so
in my lifetime, which is I've been on this planet for quite a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know.
But do you see it as a system of oppression for animals?
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you do,
And
do
I
you
think
see,
people don't really think about it, but it's not
Yeah.
only just about the animals, it's about the whole environment and the whole footprint and carbon footprint and just
It is,
the
but
damage that we're doing all
it
over.
is, but I would say we should.
Are you vegetarian?
I'm vegan, yes.
Vegan?
Yeah, it's a
There's no animal stronger than an ox, and they're vegan.
exactly.
Right?
I would say that even if it were worse for the environment, I would still I would say it's
yeah.
required for us to not oppress animals because
Right, I agree.
let's say if it were good for the environment to oppress
every life
people,
is
we shouldn't be
valuable.
oppressing them, right?
We just were saying, like, if you're
Yeah.
not ever prepared to kill an animal, which we're not hunters, but
Yeah.
then how can you just walk into the grocery store and just buy a steak?
Exactly.
No, I
so
agree.
let me ask you, just so that you leave here with a little bit of information.
Yeah.
Do you know anything
I'm
about?
think about this more.
I appreciate
Maybe I should
that.
try this.
I'll give you some resources, but how do you know anything about the dairy industry, for example?
Not a lot. I mean, other than they pump cows full of hormones and antibiotics and pretty much rip away their young. And I think I don't know, do they force them into like having babies and babies
Yeah.
and babies so that they keep, and then they just take them away and away?
Yeah, yeah. So that's exactly
To the
what they do.
slaughterhouse?
Yeah. So
Oh,
they
geez, this is getting really bad. Okay.
yeah. So they forcefully impregnate cows, of course, because they need to produce babies They need to have lactate, right? Yeah, because they're mammals. And once the babies are born, the first thing they do is separate them from their mothers because they would drink their mother's milk. If they're male, they get slaughtered. If they're female, year over year, forceful impregnation, just like their mothers, for 6 to 8 years. When they can no longer impregnate them with yeast,
and then they go to a slaughterhouse, and they can live up to 25 years, so they don't live even half their life.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is good, creating awareness. So
Yeah,
how do
exactly.
How do you create more awareness than just
Yeah,
like
a
this
lot of people don't
one-on-one?
know about it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
they
I
should be
went
teaching
vegan.
this in school.
Yeah, that's why I went vegan. When I found out that that happens to dairy cows, I was like, oh my god, this is horrific. And the
That
thing is,
really horrific.
it happens in small farms, large farms, all across. It's not just factory farming that does this.
Okay. Yikes. Don't really drink milk, but
No, not milk, but cheese.
No.
That's also, you know,
Oh,
like
cheese. I
cheese.
love
Yeah, yogurt. I know we're so disconnected from it, we don't even realize it,
I
huh?
know.
Yeah, because these industries, they pay large sums of money to keep it this way. They keep all of this indoors. They don't. A lot of people don't know about this kind of stuff. But these animals, you know, would you think any of that is okay to do to a dog? No, but cows are just like dogs, huh?
Cows, pigs are so smart.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
the worst is what they do with chickens.
Oh yeah, with chickens it's even worse.
That's just
Like what? Like for example, what
and
age?
how they define free range
How
basically
about baby
means.
cows for veal?
Honey, that's
Crazy
it.
process for that.
We
What-
need to like do some research on.
What age do you think chickens are killed at for meat?
I've never thought about it.
They,
Like,
they can live.
months?
Yeah, they can live. Let's say,
Probably.
I'll tell you, they can live up to 5 to 10 years.
That's
That's their
that's
lifespan.
Their life. Okay,
Yeah.
longevity. Okay. and
But how
age.
much do you at what
Oh.
age do you think they're killed?
Well, it's gonna be like something crazy, like 6 months.
No, 40 days.
40 days.
They're babies.
Chicken wings.
Can I give you a card to look more into it?
Yes, I would love to have your card.
Yeah, I appreciate
And I
the.
appreciate the conversation and.
Um,
Hey.
All right.
yeah.
Well,
So
And so-
one vegetarian
Challenge-
in the family.
Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day. All of it
Oh,
is
wow.
free. You just have to subscribe to it. And if you want to watch a video where you want to know more about animal agriculture, if you go on this website and type in this code, this is a code that I made, or if you scan this, there's a thing there called the most important speech you'll ever hear. It's a guy in the US holding a speech in front of a class in a university talking about animal agriculture. It's a really good speech. And I think there's nothing wrong with knowing where our food comes from, right?
No, I think.
If
I
anything.
think our kids should be educated.
Especially if you have kids. You know, I talk to a lot of people, and most people come with the excuse that they've been doing it their whole life. And it's important that we teach our kids this because at some point this is going to end, and it's just going to be difficult for them back then, right? So we got to prepare them
We
for
can't
life,
sustain-
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so nice meeting you.
Thank you so much,
Cheers.
and
what was your name again?
I'm Chip. Sorry, no
Chip.
worries. And what was your name? I'm sorry.
Andy.
Andy, nice to meet you, Andy.
Chip.
How many more animals do you want to be oppressed for you before you change?
0.
You gotta go vegan. You gotta go
0,
vegan.
0, vegan, vegan.
I appreciate having this. Good. Have a good one. Hello, everyone. Amsterdam is way prettier based on this view. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I hope you guys can hear me all right. It's kind of like here. It's a lot of cars for sure. So I'm directing it this way because there's a lot more people. Yeah. Hey, and by the way, if you're just joining, I'm Chip. This is Vegan Power Lab. This is a channel where we try to talk to people doing social experiments. We're trying to get them to think a little bit about their choices. And yeah, today we're doing a social experiment in Charlotte, North Carolina. So hey, if you're from Charlotte, North Carolina, come down here and let's do some experiment together. I'll do the experiment on you and we have a conversation. And if not, hey, subscribe. You know, like and subscribe to all that beautiful thing. Today is International Vegan Day, so you know it's the best thing to do, right? Try to get more people to be on the side of no oppression, on the side of fairness, on the side of equality, you know. I've been wandering around the city today all day, and this is the only place that I found that I can do activism there where there's a decent amount of foot traffic. No contact says thanks for working for the animals always. Never stop. And yeah, you can build muscle as a vegan, you can clearly tell that, huh? Not sure how many conversations we will have today. Normally in Amsterdam we have a lot of conversations because there's a lot of foot traffic. Everybody's kind of interested in having conversations. Here, I don't know what to expect. And there is a game. That's why I came here today. There is a game in 2 hours, so I'm expecting that there more people will come, and maybe more people will be interested in having conversations. Come talk to me. Okay. Okay, I get it. He's an employee. Movie Short Society. Vegan? Who's vegan? I'm vegan. Because I'm against oppression. That's why I'm vegan. MX says, I don't like saturated fats. You shouldn't like saturated fat. Hey, Martin's here. Hey, Martin, nice to see you. Less foot traffic, more cars. Yes, definitely. I mean, there are some people on this street right here. But it's tough to say, you know? Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see me. I was out of sight. Yeah, there are some people. Let's see. I'm gonna try to go a little bit more this way, so maybe we can catch more people. Yeah, turns out for the people who are now in the stream, turns out the problem wasn't the dongle. Kathy was always getting a laugh out of it. Hi, Artens, nice to see you here in the chat. Hope you're enjoying the live stream. We hope to get some conversations, but you know, it's not up to me. It's up to whoever wants to stop. So it turns out that the issue with the microphone wasn't the dongle. It apparently the microphones have this issue, and now I set them to maximum increase to boost the volume to maximum. So my microphones might be busted. They're new, by the way. Hey, you want to try a social experiment? No, she's on the phone. Yeah. So there's that. So I tried adjusting. I was very frustrated yesterday because of it. So now I'm using also 2 microphones. You see, I'm putting one on my head and one here. Yeah. Thanks, Chase. Hey, Chase. Nice to see you here. What is the conversation going to be about, us, Arten? Stick around, Arten. We're going to be challenging people's beliefs. We're going to try to get them to think a little bit. Hopefully. Of course, it's also almost dinner time here, so it's 5 p.m. So I expect a lot of people, they go now and they want to sit down. You want to try a social experiment? I ask you some questions. Oh, that's okay. I like how polite some people are here. They're like, I'm sorry, I have to go. Yeah. It's How is it so bright? Asks Svet. Well, it is 5 p.m. I'm just gonna ask you some questions to get you to think. You wanna try it?
Yeah, but what kind of questions?
I'll show you around in a second. That's the
Yeah, but it's got to be like, are you asking me sports questions?
It's not political for sure.
Okay.
It's just a little bit of to get you to think a little bit
All
differently.
right, I do thinking.
Okay, what's your name, by the way?
I'm Barbara.
Barbara, nice to meet you. I'm Chip. Are you okay being live on my YouTube channel?
It's on the internet?
Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel right now. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Don't embarrass me.
I hope not. So it says animal abuse should be legal.
No,
Why not?
because they're sweet creatures that shouldn't be abused. No one should be abused.
Okay. What is it about them that they shouldn't be abused?
No one should be abused.
Is it just okay? Nobody should be abused. Is it
Whether
because
it's an animal or whether it's a human.
okay? So you agree about that about cats or dogs?
Yep.
What about cows, chickens, pigs?
They shouldn't be abused. No.
Do you think that in animal agriculture animals are abused?
It depends on the situation.
So
Depends on how the productivity and how it's. Yeah.
so would you say forceful impregnation is abusive?
I don't know exactly what that is. So
Like let's say forcefully impregnating an animal.
so So you're asking me something that I would like to understand and
Yeah.
educate myself, or you're just on the street now telling me this.
Yeah,
And
no, I'm
wait-
That's how some people are. Some people get triggered by it. Nothing you can do about it. And now she's telling everybody about it. So let's see if we get more people. Be dinosaur abuse is subjective. Well, that's why I ask her, right? If you think it's subjective, that's what I ask her, according to her own subjective opinion. So subjective of morals, right? I was trying to establish a moral baseline. That's what we do here. I'll have bacon and eggs this morning, Kevin Jones say. Yeah, so you'll basically be abusing one animal because you think that's okay. That's okay. I mean, that's not okay if you ask me, but... Hello. I can't force you to do what you want to do. If you think oppressing innocent sentient beings is okay, what can I do? I don't have the power to stop you. Smells awful here, by the way. It smells like dead flesh. Should be holding a sign regarding child abuse and exploitation but corrupt local government. Why is that? Do you think that we shouldn't be speaking up on the behalf of animals? Dr. Darkroom? Each farm treats their animals differently, said Cass. Yeah, but each farm also forcefully impregnates them and kills them for something that is essentially optional to us or for profit. So, therefore, doesn't really matter, does it? Imagine doing to humans what you do to animals. Oh, it's not optional. Well, it is. I'm actually studying to be a certified nutritionist, and I can tell you that you can survive and thrive without any animal products. Zero animal products. There's nothing in animal products that you can't get from plants.
Ohio State, Penn State, and through the Clemson game.
Child abuse is more important issue. Okay, well, you can speak up on that. There's enough to, I guess you have enough time, right? I mean, you're on a live stream, commenting, telling others what's more important that they should speak up on. You can go and speak up on that if you want. I'm here speaking up on the innocent sentient animals.
Exactly right. So we have an area back here.
Kevin Jones says I'm a human being, not an animal. Humans are animals. We're all, imagine a human being is a mammal, huh? It's only abuse if you waste the meat. Okay, so if somebody like violently slashes the throat of an innocent being, it's not abusive unless the outcome is different, huh? Unless you use the other abuse. Hey, it's justified abuse.
And that's right across the JW area.
Funny.
Yeah.
Art and Z, you're not a vegan, you say, but you respect people who go vegan for ethical reasons. That's the only reason to go vegan. Being vegan means you respect animals. It means you respect them enough to understand that you can survive and thrive without using them in any way. So therefore, you choose to not use them. That's what being vegan is. If you think it's immoral to like dogfighting or to use animals for entertainment, it's the same thing for clothing, for food, for all of it, because all of them are optional. We can get our nutrition, we can get our taste pleasure, we can get all of it from plants. So we don't need to do this to sentient animals. Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
We're gonna come talk to you.
Yeah. Nice. Where are you guys? Hi, I'm Chip, by the way.
Antoine.
Nice to meet you. I'm Chanel.
Okay, so are you okay being live on my YouTube channel, by the way?
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn this around and you tell me what you think, okay? It says animal abuse should be legal.
No,
No, why not?
because animals don't have a say-so for themselves. If I hit you right now, you can easily tell me how you feel and
Okay.
tell me to stop. Animals can't do that. And
Okay.
then they rely on us. They're like, we're literally the only thing that they have for survival. So it's like, that's like your parent abusing you.
I appreciate
essentially.
it. So abusing an animal is the same as abusing a human being.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think?
I'm on the same boat. That was my thoughts exactly. It's like they're like a newborn child. They have no say. They have no way of being like, hey, this hurts.
Okay.
Don't do that.
How would you define abuse?
Anything that hurts you, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, verbal, anything that does not sit well with you.
Hitting the nail on the head. I love it. How about you?
Same thing.
Okay, okay,
Just
okay.
talk to me.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Spin for me,
Okay.
don't worry.
So you agree we shouldn't be abusing cats or dogs?
Yeah.
What about cows, chickens, pigs?
See, that's crazy because I just had pork belly. When you put
Naturally.
it that way, it sucks, but these are more domesticated animals in like everyday
It's
life.
situational.
Yeah, like if I had a farm, I would honestly feel the same way about my chickens, cows, and horses. I can't imagine myself eating a cat or a dog, but there are people who treat like their chicken, cows, and horses like cats and dogs.
So all circumstances being the same, right? All circumstances be the same. You said you had pork belly, right? You had the belly of an innocent being, right?
I did.
Would you have the belly of a dog?
No, because the way society raises us, they make it so it's like, oh, it's okay to eat these type of animals, but cats and dogs are completely off limits. So I am like,
I understand that, but do you think there's any difference to them?
no, an animal is an animal.
No.
They can't necessarily like say how they're feeling. Like you raise a cow to be slaughtered. You give them the best meal, give them baths every day, but they don't know that they're about to die and be on somebody's kitchen table.
No,
So,
but
yeah,
it
it's-
still doesn't make it right,
Yeah,
right?
it's not right. Yeah, you're
No.
absolutely right.
So then given that we can survive and thrive on a plant-based diet, that we don't need to do this to animals, is there anything holding you back from never abusing an animal again?
Just the norms of like society.
Yeah.
If like there were more options of like, hey, like lion's mane mushrooms is like steak or whatever, a certain type of meat.
I think I could do
Yeah,
it, but
if
because
you
I'm
can
so
give me
used
the
to it.
sources, I'll be okay trying it. Like I have
For sure.
no issue trying the
For
sources.
sure.
I just need more like
Incentive.
more incentive. Like it just needs to be available more, and it needs to be at an affordable price. Like it sucks that
Yeah.
you can get ground beef for like $5, but then if you want to go get like a vegan meal, it's like $20. So if it's more affordable and it's properly put out there, then yeah, I'll.
But before we discuss the practicalities of it, I'm curious because would you say in society there have been a time where it was normal to do immoral things?
Always.
Yeah, ever since the beginning of man,
Yeah, would you say like slavery was immoral?
absolutely.
And it was normal, right?
It's normalized.
It, back in that time,
It was
to
normal,
certain
right?
races, yeah.
So just because something is normal doesn't mean it's moral, right?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, so the fact that this is normal, that we do this to animals, doesn't mean that it's right, and it doesn't mean that we should participate in it, or it's a good enough excuse to do this to animals, right?
Absolutely, it's not right.
Yeah.
But I also see it as like, because we as humans are so intelligent beyond any other living being that is on this earth right now, we are literally at the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Directly below us comes animals.
Yeah.
So if we as humans have that higher thinking of like, oh, I can eat an animal, like, who's to tell them morally? Like, no, you can't. It's like literally people going against people. So if we're on the same level and I feel like I'm more intelligent than you, naturally I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not saying that's my mindset.
No, but let me ask you
like,
this. Do you think that, so what you're saying is that we have intellectual power over these animals. Do you think if somebody has intellectual power over somebody else, that gives them the right to do whatever they want to them as long as they get nutrition, pleasure, or whatever they want?
It's not right, but it happens every day.
It's not right again, but we understand that it's normalized. But I'm trying to grasp the idea that it's not right. So we acknowledge that it's not right to do this to animals, right?
Yeah.
So does that mean that consuming animal products is immoral?
It's definitely immoral. It's like testing products on animals. It's the same. It's the same shit.
Exactly.
It's
the
definitely
same.
something we shouldn't be doing, but yet it's normalized.
So,
If
yeah,
it got
it's
banned
normalized.
tomorrow, I would be indifferent, and like my life would not change.
I can survive on fruit, but the
Yeah.
fact that it's available, it's there.
It's one of those things. It's
Yeah.
just like being
I was
glutinous.
raised on it, and so it's going to be really hard as me being my big age of like in my 30s to suddenly switch unless there's really like a life-threatening or changing moment where it's like I have.
It's just
to.
gluttony at this point. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's available, we're just like, fuck it, it's okay.
And it's
Yeah.
so affordable, and It's everywhere.
Like I can go to
compared
Aldi
like-
right now, get some chicken breast, and call it a day, but
Yeah.
I shouldn't be.
As
Yeah.
there's a chicken spot on the corner, but
No,
like,
truly.
where's like a vegetarian or vegan option that's close?
There are
by?
vegan options close by, but I'm not from here. I'm from Amsterdam myself.
Okay.
But I came here to visit my sister, and I also do some activism in my free time. But like, what I want to say is that I think that if you open your eyes and check it out, you might see that there are actual options, right? Like even if you think you're at a restaurant where you don't have other options, you still always have like fries or something where you can satisfy your hunger, and then when you get home, you can, like, I don't know, have something that's higher in protein or something, right?
Yeah.
On a practical side, like
There are supplements too.
there are supplements, there are all sorts of ways that we can make it work.
Yeah.
The idea is that, because I believe that if you want to do it, you can do it, right? Like if there's this tick here in North America that if they bite you, you become allergic to animal products. Let's say if that happened to you, you wouldn't die, right? You would find a way to make it work.
Is it really a tick that does that?
Yeah, there's a tick that does that. Yeah.
Where have I been? That's crazy. I don't go outside.
Because
Okay.
I have a friend, she's Muslim, she doesn't eat any meat, she's
Yeah.
a vegetarian. She got me onto the diet. I did it for like a couple months. I gave up because I've eaten proteins all my entire life, so I kind of missed it, but I can do it again.
You can eat
Happily.
protein. By the way, I'm vegan and I have plenty of protein in my
Yeah.
diet. Like you have tofu, you have tempeh,
Exactly.
you
There's
have
others-
plant-based options nowadays. And okay, so I want to know, because we talk about this, and I usually talk. We establish that it's immoral. We establish that we can do it, and just to put things into perspective, what do you guys know about the dairy industry, the industry that produces milk?
I don't drink
It's
milk.
bad for you.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. I grew up like, oh, if you don't drink your milk, like your bones won't be strong. But then like when you actually see like the behind the scenes videos of like when you milk a cow and like it's literally pink and pussy and it goes through a
The
process
processes,
in a
yeah.
factory and it becomes like what you have with your cereal pretty much every day.
See,
So
I'm
it seems
different.
kind of disgusting.
I'm different. My parents grew up lactose intolerant, so I didn't grow up drinking milk. I kind of was just oat milk, rice milk all the
There's
time.
also cheese, yogurt, right? There's
Yeah,
other
so like there's
byproducts.
differences. So like for me, I've been drinking oat milk since I was a kid. I never saw the appeal of 2%. I thought it was disgusting that we drink another animal's milk.
So let's put it this way: why do you think cows produce milk biologically?
Wait, why do we think cows produce milk?
Yeah,
For their offspring, for their young.
Yeah,
exactly.
Same way women
Yeah,
produce
for
breast
their
milk for their offspring.
But it's crazy because actual adults will drink breast milk too.
Yeah, that's a thing, which is
Yeah.
insane.
They will,
I've
women
heard
will
of
sell
that.
breast
That
milk
is insane, yes,
for
yeah, that
adults,
is-
and it's like it's supposed to be for babies, but it has so many good benefits and nutritious values.
but there's at least consent there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Okay, I get
yeah,
where you're coming
yeah.
from.
So cows get forcefully impregnated. They don't. In order to have babies, they have to be pregnant. They have to, right? So farmers, they forcefully impregnate them. They don't wait whenever they want to have a baby or something. They say you have to have a baby now.
Forcefully inseminate,
Yeah. So after 9 months, when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
They're raised for the same thing.
Raised to be reproduced.
It's a whole cycle.
Yeah, so for the first thing that happens is they get separated from their mothers because they would drink their milk, and we say it's our milk, we have to take their milk, and there's a small margin of profit anyway for the farmers, so they have to use as much as they can, so they get separated from their mothers so that they don't drink their milk. If they're male, they don't produce milk, so what happens to them?
They get used to reproduce, right? Like their semen and all that stuff is like,
Are they killed and used for meat?
They get killed, yeah, they get killed. They usually either get, and some good farms, they get raised up to 1 year and then killed, or they get killed directly, or on some farms they even get left to starve to death because it's too expensive for them to feed them and it's not
I
worth
saw a thing. It was like just because it says that they're grass fed doesn't mean that they're out on the farm and stuff like that. And
Exactly.
I never thought about that because I was like, when I see grass fed, I'm like, oh, they're running free.
Yeah. Free range beef.
Yeah, but I never thought about it until someone brought it up. They're like, they could just be force feeding them grass and putting them in a fence.
Yeah.
That never occurred to me.
Yeah. So that's what happens to males. Females, same fate as their mother, year-over-year forceful impregnation for 6 to 8 years, after which they can no longer be impregnated with ease, or maybe they don't produce enough. And when that happens, the farmer sends them to a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And they can live up to 25 years, so they don't live even half their life. It's
What's the lifespan of a cow?
20, 25 years, depending on the breed, of course. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy, right?
I'd be dead right now.
Not true. I'd be right there.
So do you think that when you buy animal products, you support the system that does this? Because this happens, by the way, factory farming, local farms, small farms, all of it. It happens on all of them. This isn't a isolated situation in large farms or something. This is standard practice across the board.
Yeah.
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 Do you want to keep participating in this system?
Nah.
I mean, when you put it that way, no. But like, it's gonna be really hard to like just suddenly.
It's
like,
hard to break a norm
yeah,
that's been
to just suddenly
normalized.
switch. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Like, I like all foods just as long as it tastes good.
Yeah.
But like, that's a commitment to like switch.
So I would say the difficulty lies in the fact that it is a change, right? And yeah, it's nothing more than a change. It's just like any other change in life. Like going to the gym, doing all of this is difficult. I think it's far easier to make a change when we think that about the victims. When you say, I don't want a victim created for myself, then the change becomes easier. But of course, we still live in this non-vegan world where people are exploiting animals every day. So it's a bit more difficult in that sense because you walk here and there's smell of burnt flesh everywhere, right? So if you've gotten used to that, you're gonna love it, right? So
Yeah, no, that's facts.
yeah.
Because we were just on this.
Burnt flesh, though.
But that's what it is, huh?
That's true. You have a great way of turning people off. Like, I love it so much
I
right now.
respect
I'm
the way
like,
you're going
burnt
about it.
flesh?
You're
Yeah.
not being like an obnoxious person about it. You're coming off as respectful. You're
Yeah,
inviting us
facts.
into
Things
this
that we
conversation.
don't necessarily know, like your knowledge, like just to be ready to spit to anybody that's willing to talk
It's
to you.
crazy.
is
I respect it,
amazing.
though.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's not about myself though. It's about the animals, right?
No,
Let's keep in
absolutely.
mind. Let's keep in
It's
mind.
just like I said, the way you go about it, because it's very easy to like just shove it down our throats and be like, you're
Yeah.
killing animals, but you're making us, you're questioning us. You're
Yeah.
making us question what we do, which I respect.
Because that's what I want, right? Like let's think about it this way. Did you ever have a pet?
Yeah, I have
Damn.
it right now. I have a dog. Yeah,
You
I
have a
dog
dog?
now. Yeah.
Can you tell me something about them? Is there something in their personality that you like that you?
He's very chill. So like, he's a Maltipoo, so he's like still little. He looks like a puppy, but like when I say he's chill, if you're laying down, he's laying down. If you're ready to get up and go, he's like, okay, where are we going? So like he just mimics like my behavior and how I am, and I'm a very chill person. So I really appreciate that versus having a dog that's completely opposite for me and wears me out.
Would you say that you've noticed that the dog has maybe dreams or stuff like that?
Yeah.
So would you say that the dog has a person should have personhood, that they should be considered a person? Do you consider them a person?
In his own sense, he is my child.
Yeah.
Not like a physical person that I've birthed, but like an actual living being that I'm responsible for and I have to take care of. Yeah. So he is essentially my person with 4 legs.
Yeah, and of course, like when it comes to farm animals, you know, they kind of have the same fate. They put their trust in the farmer. The farmer takes care of them. A lot of the times, well, on factory farming, it's worse for them because they get born, they don't realize what's happening, they get exploited. They fuck if they know, but they still have personalities. They still want to live. They still want to lie down when they want to lie down. They want to go up when they want to go up. But they get forced. They don't have any body autonomy, right? For farmers, they're just objects. That's what they are. So I would say think about it in this way, because if you think from their perspective, it's easy to say, fuck it, I don't want to be part of this shit. It's awful.
It's also easy, I feel like, because we make everything so expensive when it's not meat. Because like, look at our job. We charge for non-dairy milk.
Yeah, but dairy milk is free. That's crazy. Yeah.
Because like, if I want to swap out 2% for whole milk, that's a free charge. But if I want to go to an oat milk, that's an upcharge.
Yeah, well, you know, they've been protesting this for that
and so,
Starbucks were doing this.
So funny enough, we work.
Okay. They did that in California. I thought they did it all.
So
all
they're doing it here.
Yeah.
They're finally making it so that it's free to
Yeah.
go to a non-dairy. But like, it goes to like why we're so lax when it comes to eating meat. It's because eating plant-based stuff is just significantly more expensive.
It's more expensive. That's what I was saying. Like
If
you
I
can
wanna
get a
go-
pound of meat for like $5.
Exactly.
But if you want to get a salad, it's crazy. It's like $15, and that's the minimum, like without everything added into it.
So I would say maybe if you go out a lot, vegan options might be a bit more expensive when you go out in restaurants because there's not that many, right? And restaurants depend on supply and demand and sort of thing, right? So a vegan restaurant obviously is not going to have the same amount of demand. They're not going to have the same competition. So they're going to be able to price products a little bit higher, right? But if you eat alone or at home or whatever, it's actually cheaper because you can buy tofu, you can buy tempeh, you can leverage all of it. And there's also been 3 studies that showed that plant-based diet is around 20% cheaper. And I can also attest that it is cheaper because I switched to veganism in 2020 and I quit my job at the same time. And with inflation going up, I'm still kind of spending around the same money. But you know, inflation is up, so I would say it's still like
it's a bitch to try to buy chicken right now. I don't know if you, because like if I shop at Costco, I buy all my proteins in bulk.
Yeah.
Buying chicken over there is still a fucking killer. Like we buy chicken breast all the time, but like they sell it in bulk. It's like 5-6 pounds, and it's like $20 to $30. It's not bad, but it's still fucking crazy that I'm spending a third of my grocery money on chicken.
And let's keep in mind that, right, like there's also other benefits to it for us, but I think and I'll mention, like, obviously the environmental footprint, right? It takes 8 times more land to build an animal-based protein than a plant-based protein.
Right.
It's obviously a little bit better for heart health to be vegan because you don't get all that saturated fat.
Yeah.
And the number one killer worldwide is heart issues, right? So in the long run, you might be better off also for your health. I'm here trying to speak up because it's not just about food, right? We exploit animals for clothing, for entertainment, for all kinds of stuff, right? So it's this mentality that we have about animals where we see them as resources, where we see them as somebody to be able to exploit, that I'm trying to change out of people. I'm trying to get them to see that it's not the case, because just like your dog wouldn't want to be exploited, any other farm animal would also not want to be exploited. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you one difficult question. How many more animals do you want to be exploited for you before you change?
It's a hard question to answer. Honestly, it's probably going to be like,
How many do you want?
how many do I want? Honestly, realistically, in a perfect world, I would say 0. But
Yeah.
I know who I am as a human being, and I know how stubborn I am. And as much as I'm willing to change, like, it's so hard to switch from something I'm accustomed to. But I'm not off as far as like trying to change. I just don't know how quickly that changes.
I appreciate your honesty. How about you?
Honestly, I could start tomorrow.
I appreciate that.
Start tomorrow.
I have the motivation. I work with her tomorrow. I've done it before. I just got greedy.
Yeah.
But like if I had somebody and like we were like, let's do a diet right now, I could do it.
Let me give you some resources, okay?
Please and thank you.
So, I'll give you also one. So, you said you have a dog, right? Let me give you one. So one thing I can tell you, Challenge 22 here, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you vegan recipes every day for 22 days to help you curb your habit. It's all free. They don't charge anything. You just have to subscribe to it. It's really nice. And if there's one thing that I encourage you to watch, which is, it's good to know, because you didn't know about dairy, you probably don't know about the awful things about eggs, about honey. There's a lot to be said because
Honey too.
animals are oppressed in all sorts of ways.
There's
Yeah.
some places that you get honey in like more humane ways, but there are other places that are fucked. Like genuinely, the way they treat the bees is just shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, they cut the wings of the queen bee so that they don't leave. They kill them over winter because it's cheaper for them to do that. So it's insane. Yeah.
Again,
Rabbit hole. Oh my god.
I'm with
Yeah.
it. I'm with it.
So, I would urge you scan this QR code, or go on this website and type in this code. This is a code that I created. There's a thing there called the most important speech you'll ever hear. You also have a link to Challenge 22, and you also have a link to personalized help. Somebody can log in with you on the Discord server and help you even further if you need particular help, like you have particular allergies or something that you're having difficulty. Somebody can log in and help you there. But that video, the most important speech you'll ever hear, is just a guy holding a speech in front of a classroom in the US, and he speaks so nicely, and it's good to know where your food is coming from if something. And if you decide that you want to change, you have all the resources there. And I do hope you want to change, because at some point everybody is going to change. And my biggest regret in life, and my only regret in life, is not being vegan earlier, because it's insane what we do to them. And once that switch happens in your brain, you just start seeing it as it's fucked up. It's just so fucked
No,
up.
I mean, my eyes are open. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a lot crazier than I was anticipating. But again, I respect you coming at it in a respectful way.
Yeah.
The way you came about it was definitely eye-opening. It was well-mannered. It wasn't like forcing it down our throats. It was great.
I serve to inform. I appreciate you. What's your name?
man. Antoine.
Antoine. Nice to meet you, Antoine. I like to see open-minded people. What's your name?
Chanel.
Chanel. Let's us open-minded people, we have a bigger responsibility, because the people who are a bit close-minded, they're gonna have to be, like, there's still people who think women shouldn't have rights, but they have to be forced by the law, right?
Yep.
So we have to us open-minded people, we have to get it to a point where we're enough people vegan so that we can enforce laws so that we don't exploit animals anymore. Even if it's gonna take a long time, I'm sure it's gonna take a long time, but one at a time, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, have a good one. You also have my social media there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's,
Vegan Power Lab.
yeah, that's me.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a really good conversation, right? Louis, I got my microphone working. I actually have two microphones right now. I have one here. And apparently the problem wasn't the dongle, it was the microphone, believe it or not. So yeah. And I got it working. Chase, thank you so much. Show your muscles, sis. Yeah, you can get muscles, don't worry about it. Muscles and well, I thought, when I came here by the way, everybody who's watching here, thank you for being here. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It means something to me. Maybe you want to see more of these live streams. Right now I'm in US. I usually do live stream every week where I try to talk to people on the street, try to do a social experiment. I also post some videos about it. And I'm trying to post a little bit more fun content, but we'll see about that. It's happening. I'm just a bit difficult. So subscribe if you enjoy this, or even if you're not vegan, subscribe. You might enjoy just hearing these conversations, and sometimes they get a bit like this conversation was nice, but sometimes these conversations do go a bit steamy, if I can say so. Hey, subscribe. Yeah. So when I came to the US. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina right now, by the way. I'm visiting my sister. I normally live in Amsterdam, but I'm here for 2 weeks, and I'm going to be doing activism here. Normally, when I came to US, I thought, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm not going to be the strongest guy in the gym now. I'm just going to be like average or something, but it turns out I was still on the strong side here, which I wasn't expecting, like big guys lifting kind of the same as me. I was like, oh, what's going on? But then again, for me it was probably like heavy, and for them it was probably just, not that heavy. So either way, all I'm saying is that you can be vegan and strong, okay? You don't need any of this. Okay, let's see if we can get more conversations. I like how some people are pretty open-minded here. Maybe the people who stop by are more open-minded. Chip, I can put you in touch with my friend in North Carolina who runs a sanctuary. Louis, that would be amazing. I actually have been thinking about taking my sister and her kids to a sanctuary. There was an interesting development. So let's see, while I wait here and while we wait for somebody to come by, there was an interesting development. So I was in Sprouts. If you guys know Sprouts, it's a supermarket in US. And I had a shirt on that said Total Animal Liberation, and this one guy comes to me and says, hey, cool shirt, Total Animal Liberation. And I asked him, are you vegan? And he said, yeah, I'm vegan, of course. And he showed me his kids. He said his kids are also vegan. I was with my sister there, by the way. And we had a chat. He recommended me some nice restaurants in Charlotte, which was awesome, by the way. I didn't know any vegan restaurants, and I found some really good ones. Haven't tried them yet myself, but I will try them soon. And we had a little bit of a chat. He said we swapped phone numbers. We're probably gonna have dinner or something at some point. That's pretty cool. And the interesting thing was that after we left that conversation, my sister's not vegan, by the way. After we left that conversation, my sister was in the car and she was like, really nice what that guy said. And I feel so bad about my choices now because a lot of people think that we as activists, I'm obviously a person who's a bit more, I don't know, strict about stuff, right? For me, it's easy to change and to do things. But her seeing those people with kids that are vegan was like, okay, I get it. You can't do it. So it got her feeling a bit bad about her choices and thinking that maybe she can do it also. Just pointing it out there. So, wear t-shirts. I've been wearing a cool t-shirt every day here. Well, not now because I don't want to give away what the experiment is about. But I've been wearing a vegan t-shirt every day, and almost every time I've been in a supermarket, somebody has approached me telling me something. Almost every time, not every time. So, it's pretty cool. I love meat. If I could, I'll eat it every day. Yeah, you can eat plant-based meat. You don't need to exploit innocent sentient beings, Chip, what's the best way to send you a phone number? Lewis, on Instagram, I check my messages usually, so not right away, but I do check them. So send them on Instagram. Big Dream says I'm gonna have vegan chicken strips. Nice. That sounds awesome. You want to do a social experiment while you wait? Okay, that's okay. There's a lot of people now. Let's see how many people will stop. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, please. You guys want to do a social experiment? Animals are also abused for plant products. Well, first of all, I don't think animals are abused for plant products, but let's say they are. Let's say they are. It's still more animals would be abused when you eat an animal or when you force an animal into a slaughterhouse, when you raise an animal because you have to feed them. You feed them plants. So any amount of animals that are killed for a plant, that number is multiplied because animals eat plants themselves. So
Are these free? Oh my god, that's what flavors do you have?
somebody's giving away free drinks here. Messing with my audience. Well, not my audience, my potential. Cass, is anybody forcing you? Cass, you say that you don't get to choose. Is anybody forcing you? Because if nobody's forcing you, then you have a choice in the matter. It may seem more difficult, but you have a choice. People here are definitely, there's definitely less people stopping by interested in this. There's also these girls set here. Nice giat. What's a giat? Oh, hey Zine. Nice to see you here. You guys want to try a social experiment?
Okay, well.
Okay. You guys want to try a social experiment? I was expecting that there would be fewer people, but there's a lot of people and not a lot of people stop. But hey, at least we got 3 people talking. Well, 2 conversations, but 3 people in total.
We're sitting here trying to get people. Thank you for being here, by the way, and being patient. We're trying to get some people here to have some conversations, but you know, we can't force people into having conversations with us. All we can do is hold the sign and hope they want to do that. You guys want to try a social experiment? Come talk to me. Okay. Well, it's live.
What are you sitting over there with the conversation?
Are you okay being live on YouTube, first of all?
That's okay.
Okay, what's your name?
George, what's your name?
I'm Chip. Chip.
Chip, nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn this around and ask you how you feel. It says animal abuse should be legal.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I feel like it's almost obvious, but I mean, they're much smaller than us and they're helpless and we have them as pets, so it's like...
What if they're not our pets?
Are you kind of trying to draw a line on where it's animal abuse and where it's like you can eat an animal and have it not be an issue? Like where...
Well, I'm trying to establish a moral baseline, first of all. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to see.
but I'm asking you if that's your...
Yeah.
If your back end is like, how can a cat be a pet, but then a cow is a burger, is kind of like, where do you...
Yeah, well,
Have you
it's,
ever seen
where
that?
do you draw the line? Yeah,
Have
is
you ever
it-
seen that
because
image where it's like all of the animals,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like they've
yeah.
got hashes in it?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get you to think, because if you think abusing cats or dogs is bad, then what about
in
cows,
Turkey, they don't
chickens,
have an
pigs?
issue with it. In certain parts of Asia, they don't have an
No,
issue.
but you have it, right?
Oh, me personally,
Yeah,
yeah, 100%.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So
kind,
then why
it's
you-
kind of like a, for example, I don't hunt, right?
Yeah.
I don't own any guns. I'm not against guns in any way, but then it'll go towards hunting, right? If I were to, like, I don't like fishing for sport either. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind going off road or driving fast and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but harming animals and other stuff like that doesn't get me off. Or like, I would love to shoot at a target, but not at a living animal.
Why not?
I don't get enjoyment out of that in any way.
But if you did, would it make it right?
I don't think that it would make it right just because you get enjoyment out of it. I get enjoyment out of speeding, and it's not right.
Thank you.
I get enjoyment out of, a lot of us get enjoyment out of things that aren't right, but there's certain stuff where you're putting somebody else at risk, or you're putting something else
Yeah.
at risk that doesn't have, it's like a child.
Yeah.
You think that we should cook babies? You say that, and it's like, an
Exactly.
it's so obvious because I mean, I've got a cat and he's 10 pounds, right? I can put it over this truck over here. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
like,
So I would say it's wrong to abuse an animal
100%.
because they feel it, right? Because
Of
they
course.
feel it, right? If they wouldn't feel their abuse, and by feel I mean,
I don't even know about that to that level. It's not just because they can feel it.
well,
It's,
they're sentient, right? They can feel it.
Yeah.
They either have a body sensation or an emotional sensation towards abusing them, right?
it's kind of like a plant can feel it when you cut it or something, but it's like you pick a flower and it still feels it, but the reception towards the pain is completely
But
different
plants
than
are
an
not
animal.
sentient, right? Plants don't have
Yeah,
a...
they're not conscious.
Yeah,
like,
they're not
of
conscious,
course,
but animals
of course.
are, right?
Yeah, animals are conscious,
yeah, so-
regardless of how small the
Exactly.
brain is in it.
Yeah,
100% conscious.
so then in that sense, if cats and dogs are wrong to be abused because of their consciousness, wouldn't it apply to cows, chickens, or pigs?
But some of the stuff is bringing us nutrients. Sometimes I can understand both sides of it, right?
So you get nutrition, right, from this?
Sir?
You get nutrition from
Yeah,
it.
100%.
But do you think you can get nutrition without doing this to animals?
You would be able to get similar stuff, but it goes back to where speeding is wrong to someone like high farming cows to where they're going to feel pain, or like you've ever seen milking machines and stuff like
Yeah.
this. It's probably not a comfortable process for the animals, but at a certain point, I think that society views the human as like the top of the food chain. We're more important than whatever rare shark that we want to sit there, cook and grill.
I'm not disputing that we have more intelligence, we have power over them.
Just because we have the intelligence
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything. Because
Exactly.
because apes are intelligent
That-
too, and there's a lot of stuff that they can.
That's
sit there and
exactly
do.
it. Just
They're
because we
smart
have,
birds.
just because we have
intellectual power or physical power over these animals, do you think that justifies what we do to them for something that is essentially optional to us? Because as you said, we can get our nutrition from plants also, so we don't need to be doing this to animals, right? So in the sense, let me draw a parallel to you,
Yes,
because
sir.
you say it's wrong to hunt for pleasure, right? To hunt.
Yes. Say like here was what I was going to get to a minute ago, and this would give
Yeah.
you a good viewpoint on my idea
Yeah.
towards it. So, say somebody invited me to go deer hunting, right?
Yeah.
I would probably go under the condition that the deer that I kill, I would want to consume fully, and I would want it to either die instantly or be done with. I don't want to shoot the leg and track the deer through the woods with a hound. But if I plan on eating it, I don't see an issue. You know what I mean?
But do you think that to the deer it matters that you eat them afterwards or not?
No, that part doesn't matter. But I'm saying that's where my viewpoint is.
I understand where your viewpoint is.
100%. I
Yeah.
don't think it matters to them whether or not you eat them afterwards. But it
But
kind of
let's
goes
say-
back to like Native American principles, where it's like you use the whole thing and
I understand that, right? Like it's
Yeah.
obviously,
and it's a utility and a useful and a utilitarian aspect. But
I understand that, but the whole action before that, where we, like, if you were to find a dead animal and you want to eat the whole dead animal, that's a whole nother thing, right?
yeah. It's
But
like,
you going
it's like
out of
using
your
a
way,
tree that's
Yeah.
fallen for firewood versus you cutting
Yeah, but you going out of your way to exploit and kill an innocent animal for something that you can survive and thrive
You
without.
ever seen chicken farming or
Yeah, I
I'm
have
sure you've
seen-
looked
yeah,
into it more than I have for sure.
So do you think that it's moral to exploit and slaughter an innocent animal when we can choose otherwise, regardless of
I think that, to be honest with you, and part of this is going to be like I guess ignorant to a certain degree. I would rather eat chicken or I would rather eat beef than the synthetic plant counterpart of it, purely because it tastes better. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
Well,
a very simple.
But do you
simple
think that your taste pleasure is worth more than their life?
I think that when there's such a high quantity of it, like of the animals, and it's being farmed for this purpose, that it might not be in a perfect moral sense correct, but it's not something that's going to make me lose sleep. If you told me we were cutting up humans and eating human flesh, I'd be furious and disgusted. So I feel like your
Okay.
mindset is towards that. With do you consume any kind of
No, but like
But for how long?
Any
Is it
animal
your whole
product.
life, or was there a
That's been
point-
like 3 years, but
So before this 3 years, how old, can I ask how old you are?
yeah, sure, go for it. So I was vegetarian before that.
Yes, sir.
For like 7 years, and then I was just a normal
How
person.
old are you now?
I'm 37.
So at 34, you quit eating meat
Yeah,
altogether?
yeah.
What was a meat that you would have consumed at 30?
Well, no. Meat I actually quit long before because
About 24, you think?
around 26, 27 years old. Yeah.
That's about where I am right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's-
what gave you that mindset at 26 that you would want to quit?
Honestly, I just did it when I quit meat for the first time. I did it for health reasons because, well, you know, red meat is associated with colon cancer. Like chicken meat isn't also the best, and to me it was more like
This isn't healthy. For
yeah,
you. You know what I mean?
yeah, I know what you mean, but like it
But
was
with moderation with all things makes certain things,
Yeah.
not crime, but like moderation with
well,
what you
no,
eat,
red
everything.
meat. For red meat, there's no moderation. For red
Yeah.
meat, any amount
Any
of red
amount
meat
will do it.
will
But-
increase your chances of colon cancer. But like, for me, what did it was more that I just didn't like the meat itself that much. I felt like, okay, if you add spices to it, if you put sauce on it, on all that, it tastes good. But otherwise, meat is just bland. It's nothing to me. So for me,
can understand
it wasn't that difficult to give up meat. Along the way, I learned about what happens to animals, and I said, I really am glad that I'm not part of it.
you,
Right?
you go through that whole process
Yeah.
of stuff, and
Yeah.
I remember explaining to our little brother. He was between 7 or 8 or something, and we said, "You know where burgers come from?" And he had no idea, no clue, no idea of the slaughter process, any of it. Well, at 8 or 9, I didn't have it, but he had access to an iPad at the time, right?
Yeah.
So he turns around and he goes straight to YouTube like anybody else would
Yeah.
do. And he watches it. And it is horrifying.
Of course.
I will say this, that even though I will still enjoy consumption, I'm going to continue to eat meat. One, we should be able to have conversations with each other, even having a disagreement in viewpoints. Respect can still be
But
established.
where do you think we disagree?
in the sense that you wouldn't consume and it's wrong? And
I don't think we disagree.
I think we
I
have the same mindset, but it's like, where am I drawing the line?
No,
between
I think the difference is between, I think, and I hope you don't take offense to this, but
No,
like,
no,
I want
not
to
at
be
all.
honest with this.
Yes,
but
sir, yes, sir.
I believe that I have my eyes open, you have your eyes closed to this because
Towards
you,
which portion of
towards how we treat animals, because you are taught in a sense that it's okay to do this to cows, chickens, and pigs. But if you were to find only dog meat in the supermarket, would you buy dog meat or dog burgers?
I think that it almost goes back to the way that our society is constructed. That if for a long time people had like cows as animals or sheep in the house, right? And say dogs and cats. Cats ended up being a more muscular thing, and we ended up eating cats. I think that the line doesn't so much come from what is correct as what is society has created as a normal base.
Yeah, but the reason why we think it's wrong to do this to dogs is because we acknowledge that they have a personality, they have sentience, that they want to live. Because
Yeah,
so
but
many
I don't
people.
think that that's the issue with people eating cows. I don't think it's because they don't think that they have like a mind or
No,
feelings or
but
anything.
people nowadays, most people are disconnected from what cows go through. Like, you probably don't know enough even about the dairy industry, which is what got me to go vegan. Let's put it
Yeah,
this way.
it's
Do you
not
know? Do you know what do you know about the dairy industry? Like,
Do you want me to be really, really, really honest with
Yeah.
you with this? I went a couple of years ago and I kind of dug into it. And of course, there's levels to where you can consume and you can avoid the harm towards it. And say if we were to all to not do it, it would make it to a point where the animals wouldn't suffer. But on top of the fact that we're extra farming it, you know what I mean? The same way we do wheat, the same way we do corn, whatever. That we're almost just creating them to die and to feed a population. I lost her.
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Let me just put it this way. So, cows, they produce milk when they're pregnant. When they have babies, they're like mammals, right? They're like you and me. Well, you and me and humans in general.
Yes,
So
yes.
in order for them to produce milk, they have to have babies. So what farmers do is they forcefully impregnate them. Somebody literally puts their hands in their anus, hold their cervix, and inject blue semen in their vagina. This is standard practice across the board. Small farms,
I remember
large
what I was
farms.
going to say. That I got into it, and a bunch of the process is disgusting and not enjoyable. That we could kill animals, and we could still eat animals, and there could be a much more peaceful and clean way to do it versus the processes that. And I wouldn't say it makes it more humane, but I think in a sense of like an instant death thing, like the milking process, for example, is not something.
But it's still
enjoyable.
wrong, right? Like,
Still
it's still
wrong.
because at the end of the day, yes, we can make
mindset.
we can
It's
make
kind of
something.
like if you kill somebody and I stab you 15 times, or I kill you with a gunshot to the head.
Of course,
There's
yeah.
neither one of them is more morally correct than the other. I'm still wrong and I'm still a murderer for this.
Exactly.
But what I'm getting at is that I looked into it and then I lost interest towards it because I understood that it wasn't something on a selfish note that I didn't want to give up. I literally went to a Mexican restaurant earlier and I got
But it doesn't matter. Like
a steak burrito. You know what I mean?
But let's put it this way: would you say killing an animal for entertainment is okay,
I
without
don't
them
enjoy
suffering? But do you think
repeat
it's
that?
without them suffering? Like as you said, a fast kill, right? Would you say killing an animal for entertainment is okay?
For entertainment, no. Now, entertainment and consumption, and the two of them are sitting there together. I can see and understand that. But like, say,
But why is that, right? Because the difference, you see, when we consume plant-based products versus animal-based products, the difference is you can get nutrition from both. So what separates them is the entertainment part, which is your enjoyment of meat products more than the other option,
now
right?
my entertainment isn't from the kill aspect to it. Because
No,
there's
no,
a
no.
lot-
Your entertainment. No, but
my entertainment is from just the consumption.
But
I
does it matter
enjoy
as long as the action itself is the same, where the animal gets exploited and slaughtered for you, and you only make this choice because of either you're used to it or because you get some form of like taste pleasure from it. But
100%.
you can get all of this from plants, right? Like you get the difference in taste pleasure. Do you think that justifies the exploitation and slaughter that these animals go through?
It might not justify it in a moral sense, but I think that it's not something that I would be personally open towards quitting for the sole idea of like the plant's feelings. If we want to get into feelings of stuff, I mean,
You say plants feel
we
pain,
could
right?
repeat that.
Do you think plants feel pain?
They feel pain, but it's a completely different thing. You know what I mean?
But let's say even if you think plants feel pain, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't agree. There's several. Like of course there's been in the news that plants scream or some shit that mass media just blows it out of proportion.
Certain planets have a completely different perception to it than other stuff.
But either way, like as far as we know, consciousness, sentience is an emergent property of brains or central nervous systems. Plants
You
don't
think
have
fishing
either.
is wrong?
Yes, because fish also have central nervous
I
system.
agree with you on that in the
Yeah,
sentient
yeah,
aspect,
yeah.
but I'm saying like, would you consider the same thing as like hooking a fish and sitting there and killing the fish is
It's they're both wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're
Do you eat
sentient beings.
seafood at all?
No.
Or synthetic seafood or anything?
No.
What
Well-
about an oyster?
No. I would say that if as long
Would
as
you say that an oyster is a conscious-minded thing?
I don't know, but
That's just me curiously asking
Yeah.
you as an individual and not asking you for a
I understand.
research-based thing.
I don't know, but I err on the side of caution. You see what
That's
I mean?
fair.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're conscious, but I err on that. So, but what I wanted. Oh, I forgot my idea now. But what I was going
I
towards.
forgot one earlier.
Yeah. But what I was going towards is that because these animals are sentient, because they have a subjective experience of the world, it's wrong to do this to them, right? We can justify that we do it fast, we do it in all sorts of ways, but the reality of it is we can stop doing it. And
We can. We could stop cheating. We could stop.
Yes,
we could
and
stop
that's what we
fraud stuff,
thrive
we
on,
could
right?
stop stealing.
Yes, but we don't-
We could be better people, but I think that.
But we can't justify doing all of these actions that you mentioned by saying there's cheating,
but it
there's
starts here. Like it starts with you. Like you don't.
sorry, there's a thank you.
It starts with you. You know what I mean? It starts with you and me making these decisions. It's not we are not going to steal as a whole. It's I am not going to steal, and you go I'm not going to steal either.
But
We
according to
continue.
your own morals, right?
Yes.
According to your own morals, would you eat a dog if that's the only meat you can find? You can find plant-based versions all over.
I think that I would have to come to that bridge before I could answer that question for you.
It's the reason why I asked this is
I'm
because
saying it's a loaded question. If there's
Yeah.
nothing else and it's the end of stuff, there's a potential.
well, I'm not saying that if you starve, right? I'm saying if you have plant-based options available, but the only animal meat or animal milk you find is
I guess
coming
it would
from
more so
exploited
depend.
dogs,
I guess
right?
it would depend more so if the dog is dead beforehand or not. 'Cause
Well-
I wouldn't be the one that would sit there and kill the dog, but like
No, but you would
Yeah.
you would have the same process where if you buy that meat, another
Yeah.
dog will be killed and
Yes,
put,
yeah,
right? the same
100%.
supply and demand
But
system.
I probably wouldn't be in that boat of it because aren't there countries that do sell dog?
Yeah, so but what I'm trying to get at, maybe there are, but the point is that what do you think is the difference between a dog and a cow that you think it's okay to do it to a cow according to your own morals, but not a dog?
At the end of so would you kill a spider? My bad on the mic.
No.
I didn't mean to.
No, I wouldn't kill
What
it.
about like a mosquito?
Mosquitoes, if they attack me, yes. Or I'll try to shoo them away, but if they attack me, of course. But that's kind of
So then how are you okay with if a mosquito's here on your arm and you go like this to it, but then a cow on the other hand?
But the cow does nothing to me, right?
Huh?
A cow does nothing to me. The cow is
100%, but
right.
killing is
A cow
killing.
is
You know what I
innocent.
mean? And we get to the same point of where the
well,
stabbing
it's not.
and the
It's not
gunshot.
because killing in self-defense is not the same as killing just for pleasure.
Okay, I can-
right?
I can understand that
The reason, the motive matters, right? So us killing cows just because we get some form of enjoyment from it, or because we've been doing it for a long time, doesn't make it right.
A lot of things just because there's time behind it doesn't make it right. though.
Exactly.
And if you were going to get into the right, the wrong, or the feelings of it, you could quickly switch to politics, which I don't want to dig this conversation into.
Yeah,
in a
let's
quick
not go into
aspect.
politics. Yeah.
But in the sense of we could do more for our people. Like if we get to feelings, we could do more for our country than we do for foreign countries.
But you
see?
can-
But it's the feeling. So it's like if that's important then to you, then why can't our own people be important?
But let's put it this way: you can choose to care about humans and fight for all the rights, political rights, non-political rights, whatever you want.
Yes.
But 3 times per day, you have to make a choice, and that is
You talking about what you're going to consume
what
for
you're
these
going to
3
consume.
meals?
Yeah, because you consume for these 3 meals, right? And one of those times, all of these times, you have a choice between exploiting an innocent animal or not. So you can choose, like you can fight for everything else, but still not exploit animals. It doesn't take away from
Can
your
I ask
time.
you another question?
Sure.
Are you a religious man?
No,
Not at all.
no, I'm at the atheist, 100%.
Atheist? So
Yeah.
you think there's just nothing above, no greater creation, no.
I think there, even if there is what you would call
Like
a
a higher
god,
power,
a higher
God, yeah.
power, I don't think that they're necessarily concerned about us humans because the universe is so big that maybe maybe the universe has been created at some point by somebody or some being. That doesn't necessarily mean that we as humans. I mean, there's obviously we're evolved.
So then you understand sin, though, right?
I
like
understand,
the
yeah,
idea of
yeah.
not like in a
Yeah,
disrespectful way.
I was Christian. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
So is there something that you do that's wrong that you're okay with it, but because you enjoy it, it's something that you can get over? Is there
No, because personally I don't like the feeling of guilt. If there's something that I do that I know is wrong, and then gives me some enjoyment, it also comes with guilt.
You drive?
I'm actually from Amsterdam, Netherlands, so no, I bike everywhere, and here
Really?
I took the train and yeah.
Oh, so I was going to ask you a question about like anger and driving and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like even if I drive sometimes, it doesn't mean that Like, what does that have to do with? Like, imagine this.
It was a separate thing. It was just aimed
Yeah.
towards other people.
Yeah, I
It's more
understand.
so what I was asking. It's not directly in conjunction to your
I
point.
feel like what you're trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, is a little bit of saying, well, we're all imperfect. We all do this little thing that we kind of enjoy. But this isn't a thing where we're imperfect.
I wouldn't call the killing animals a little thing, but I think that
Exactly.
it's for sure. I think that it's a for sure a piece of culture and people, and right or wrong, I don't think that
But culture, like,
advocating towards it is going to change a lot of people's minds. Most people are too ignorant to even listen to you or have the conversation.
Yeah, I
The reason you're
understand
standing
that.
over here majority of this and nobody's coming out to speak is because people aren't, one, open-minded, and two, people are disrespectful to other people. They see you and they're like, oh, I don't want to say anything. Like, I don't want to hear his
And that's
viewpoint.
okay,
I don't want
right?
to speak to him. And the point that we quit having conversation is when war starts. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
have to talk to each other, whether or not we agree on
Yeah, I
everything
agree.
or
I
don't
agree.
on any of it.
I agree. We have to talk to each other, but I also think that it's important that talking is just the first part, right? We also have to do things.
Of
Because
course.
if your morals say that it's wrong to kill a dog, then your morals should also say that it's wrong to kill a cow for exactly the
you
same
like how I
reasons.
got that within the first second when you flipped
Yeah, well,
the sign
a lot of people do get it, and I appreciate
yeah.
that. But what I'm trying to say is that if your morals say that killing an animal for pleasure is wrong, then when you buy animal products, that's essentially what you're doing.
100%. I agree
So
with you
if
on
you're
that all
saying
the
it's
way.
wrong according to your own morals, not my own morals, I'm not trying to impose my views on you.
Yeah.
But if according to your own views is that, I'm just trying to tell you that there is another way. You can choose
There
to
for
stop,
sure is.
right? And you can get all your nutrition, you can get everything that you want from a plant-based diet. You can be happy and satisfied. And on top of that, you can choose to have a more compassionate and fair world. Because for me, it's not about being vegan. By the way, I'm vegan. It's not about,
What's the difference between vegan and vegetarian?
well, vegetarians, they still exploit animals. Being vegan is
How
not
so?
a diet.
How
Being
so?
vegan is not a diet. Veganism is a moral stance.
lifestyle or-
It's a moral stance against the exploitation of animals. It's strictly, we say animals should not be exploited for us, for food, clothing, entertainment, or anything.
Say in a perfect world that I turned around and I was like, you're correct. I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
And now today I'm gonna quit. And then we've got.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are not going to do it.
But it's going to continue to stay like that. So
Probably,
then-
but your impact is around 100 animals per year that you could be saving, 100 animals per year.
you're saying
your
if I.
personal impact, yes.
But I do think that even if I went a year with no meat, that the same amount of animals would sit there and get killed in the same aspect. Even though I'm not sitting there and consuming it, somebody else
At
will
some point, it
consume
does. At some point, you understand the supply and demand. At some point, it does reduce, right?
At some point,
Yeah.
one
But-
person wouldn't affect.
But you gotta
the-
ask yourself this, right? This is fucking awful what we do to animals.
100%.
You gotta ask yourself, do I want to be part of it or not? It doesn't matter if everybody's part of it. In my opinion, there's a lot of people who are unaware of what's happening, who are misinformed. Like
Yeah, and
I talked to 3 people today, and like out of them, 2 of them were like, I didn't know. I want to know more about it, and yes, I think I want to try and change. Well, everybody says it's difficult because it's a change at the end of the day.
Of course.
But 2 out of 3 said they want to change, right? So it's the first step is getting informed and letting people
I think
know.
that
But,
I wouldn't want to change, but I do have at least enough knowledge to understand the
but we
choice
didn't
of-
we didn't stop about dairy industry, and I'm sorry for interrupting you
Repeat?
there. We didn't stop. I didn't explain to you the dairy industry because we stopped
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
If
So
you want
cows
to, go
they
ahead.
get forcefully impregnated.
Yes.
What do you think happens to the babies when they're born?
Either like growth hormone or something. I don't know.
So the first thing that do is they get separated from their mothers because
I
we
think
have
I
to
knew- I
take
knew
their
that,
milk,
yeah.
right?
have to what?
We have to take their milk. The cow's
take-
milk.
okay,
Yeah, because
yeah.
otherwise they would drink their milk.
I thought you said mother or something. I
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
understand what the.
If they're male, they don't produce milk. So what do you think happens to them?
Just kill male babies.
Exactly. They either get killed or get fed up to 1 year and then killed, or sometimes they even starve to death because it's unproductive to
It's
feed.
easier to do
Yeah,
than-
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they get seen as objects, right?
These are a lot of things that I may not agree with on a direct portion, but say that if you have a farm and you have 4 cows on it, right?
Yeah.
And you've had these cows for 15 years, and either because there are less harmful ways to get milk. And
Well, all of this, none of it for profit, right? For money.
Repeat that.
For money, all of it is standard practice.
What do you mean?
As in, if you're going to go on a small farm or a large farm, this happens on all of them.
This is I hadn't gotten to the end of my point, but I was saying if you have a farm and you've got 4 cows and you sit there and these cows go through a pasture and you sit there and you collect milk from them, but the goal isn't to collect beef from these animals, right? You might be a better person for doing it in that way, but at the same time, there could have been, say,
But you still have to-
100,000 cows in the U.S., right? This is just generic random numbers, and they're not direct to anything. But now, if we've got a guy who farms up 400,000 of them by himself and kills all 400,000 of them, it still is not correct. But now it's like there's a whole nother.
Well, you're talking about numbers here. It doesn't matter, right? Because if you kill one person, it's just as bad as if you kill 100 people. It's still an immoral act that you do 100 times. It doesn't matter that you do it.
But you take it out of.
But my
stuff
point
and
is-
you feed people with it, and
Even if you have cows, they still have to be pregnant to have milk. You still have to do something to the babies, right? Because if not, you have to grow them, you have to feed them. And a lot of the times the margin for profit is so small that they can't do that. So that's the reason why they do all this. Like cows get killed at around 6 to 8 years when they can't be forcefully impregnated anymore. And they can live up to 25 years, so not even half their life. So
business is a crazy thing, though.
yeah, but
It's like, and I don't mean to jump topic on you again, but it's like the healthcare industry in the U.S. You think their goal is to heal people?
well, no, it's a
You think-
business,
you
of
think-
course.
It's a business,
but
and so is the animals. The business of feeding people. A lot of these people. So you have the moral aspect of it, right?
yeah.
But now on the other side, there are families that this is how they. Of course, they could do something. It's like a drug dealer. He may be selling the drugs, but this drug dealer is using the money and he's feeding his family with it. A mafia man. These people are feeding their families by killing.
But it doesn't matter, right?
the
Like
cows.
imagine during slavery.
It does matter.
No, let me.
These people still have to eat.
But
at
let
the
me
end of the day.
explain. What they can choose otherwise, right? They have
can,
choice.
but some people
They-
only know one way, and you have
Well,
to understand
no,
that
they can
by
still-
perception, you can understand my viewpoint, and I can understand yours. Some people have not left their hometown in their whole life, and this is all they know. They're going to take over
Well,
their
no, because they
grandfather's-
farm. If they farm animals, they can farm vegetables. They can still be farmers.
Yeah, you can still do a lot of
They
stuff.
just not. They just don't need
But
to
it's like
be.
it's like you're a car mechanic or you're an 18-wheeler mechanic. Just because you can do one doesn't mean you understand the other.
It doesn't
All of
matter.
these things
None
are
of this. I don't
completely-
care about this. You know why?
It's different.
I don't care about this. You know
Yeah,
why? Because
why?
during slavery, there were people who were making money from trading slaves, from moving slaves to one. From the sheer act of slavery was generating jobs for some people and money, who were they were literally
Yeah, and I don't agree with it, but it created a country and it created an economy.
Yeah, but it's an immoral
and-
act.
And Russia, the Romans, the Greeks,
Yeah, but
the
it's an
Asians all started countries with an idea of slavery at the beginning. And although slavery isn't correct, it's the reason you and I are able to partially stand here and talk today.
It's
all
an immoral-
brings us to where we are.
It doesn't
today.
matter. But like there was awful things in history that doesn't
It's awful.
justify
It's
that, right?
awful. I'm not
But
justifying it, but I'm saying that it leads to creation of where we are today.
Okay, but
So
we did
every
enough time for animals, right? We can stop. Just like we stopped at slavery, we can stop at this also.
We can, but I don't think anybody will. Maybe,
well, a lot
maybe
of people
maybe
will.
on an
I
individual
understand that you
basis.
don't want to do it, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of people who want to stop. I understand that you don't want to do it. But my point is that there's still, like, you can at least acknowledge that it is immoral what we do to them.
I can
It is
acknowledge that.
Then,
Yeah, yeah.
Then,
I'm
then,
not gonna disagree.
then do you think that consuming animal products is immoral?
No, not at all.
So if you think that what we do to animals for animal products is immoral, then how can you not think that animal products are immoral?
It's just my personal opinion. It doesn't have to be correct. That's
But
just how I
it
view
just feels to me like you're trying to escape the idea that eating animal
I'm
products
not.
is.
It gives me zero guilt to sit there and kill a half a pound burger, and I don't want to say that because the goal of me speaking over here to you isn't to be disrespectful, but I want to share my viewpoint and I want to hear yours at the same time. Although I
This
can,
isn't a viewpoint.
Huh?
Animals are
It
sentient.
is your viewpoint.
It's not my viewpoint.
It doesn't matter if it's reality or truth or fiction or opinion or any of it. It's your viewpoint.
It's not
your
my
viewpoint
opinion,
could
it's
be
not
murder
my-
is wrong and I could be murder is right. That's my viewpoint.
But you said it's wrong.
Huh?
That's the thing. You just don't want to admit it, right?
Do
Because
what?
you said
On the
what
mo-
we
on
do
the
to
kill-
animals is
on the-
wrong.
on the killing aspect, for
Is
sure.
what we do to animals wrong?
The killing aspect
Exploitation
of it.
and
but,
slaughter.
But when I sit there and eat it, I'm not the one doing it. It's
You're
like
not thinking, but you're supporting it. When you
it's
pay
like if
with your
some-
money,
it's like
you're
if somebody
supporting
gets
it.
murdered on a cocaine deal, and then you go get cocaine.
Yeah,
Do
you are supporting it.
You
Yeah,
are supporting
responsible.
the people
You
that
are
got killed
responsible
along
for
the
that.
way.
Yeah.
Is the same thing you're getting at. But in my view, I'm saying no. That I'm not agreeing with that.
But the
that
reason why
because
some
you did it
animals-
doesn't mean that this person died because you did.
But 100 animals per year will
Per
be
person.
will be exploited and slaughtered specifically
Per person.
because of your choice,
Yes.
right? So there are certain animals that because of you, because of your choice, they reach there. There's no gray area there. There's just black and white, right? So
There's gray area in everything.
well,
There-
not
there-
in here because you can choose.
is.
No, because there's no gray area
and
for
that's,
them.
and that goes back
it's a
to
gray
your
area
viewpoint
for you.
and my viewpoint.
It's
There's
for
a
you.
gray area from my
But
viewpoint.
not for animals, not for the victims of your choices. Yes, for you, your choice can be whatever you want. But the victims of your choices, they either get exploited and slaughtered or not. And you, but that's it, right? If you create victims, they're gonna get exploited and slaughtered. It's black. If you don't, it's white. It's just easy as that. For you, it may be gray,
It's
but for
not-
them, it's
it's-
black and white.
In life, nothing is black and white.
For
Nothing,
them, it
nothing-
is. Not for you, but for
I
the
don't-
victims,
I
it
don't
is.
agree with you there too. But that's
If you
just,
buy an animal product, one animal will be exploited extra. They will have to replace that product from a supermarket, from a restaurant, wherever you buy it from. One animal will be exploited because you bought that product, correct?
he was going to get killed anyway. Is what I'm getting at.
Well,
That-
not.
that unless it's fully addressed, I don't think that an individual basis is doing something that's making that big of an impact.
Again,
towards
100
that-
animals
that-
per year.
per person.
Per person.
But if you're sitting, then it goes back to the numbers where I know that you don't have the. It doesn't affect your viewpoint on it having the numbers of it, but it's like we're farming them up to kill them. That's exactly what we're doing.
But farming is wrong. Farming animals is wrong.
It's wrong, and we're feeding a population doing it.
Doesn't matter.
There's a lot of other wrongs
Just
that
like
I care
slavery-
about way more than
Slavery made an economy. It doesn't
Like,
didn't
I-
make slavery right, right?
It doesn't make
Didn't
slavery
mean-
right, but it created a country.
Doesn't mean anything.
The
We
killing
could have
the
created
animals
a
may
country
not be
without
right.
slavery. We could have created. We can't get our nutrition without exploiting animals.
You can
All
do a
of
lot
these
of
actions,
things right and
a lot
wrong.
of shit happened in our past, right? Attila the Hun probably raped, I think, around half of Europe. So there's a 50-50 chance that you are the direct descendant of them. Doesn't mean that
that's
what
a-
he did is right.
Yeah, that's a wild part that I was like trying to dodge out of it. But I get
I'm
what
just
you're-
trying to say that
Yeah.
a lot of immoral things happen that we're here right now. It doesn't mean we get to do more immoral things by saying at some point it's going to be right.
I want to run over here because my girl's
Okay.
going to get annoyed. I would love to sit and
Can I
talk.
give you a card to look more into it?
Sure, you're welcome.
Only if you promise to look into it.
I will.
Okay.
I'll look at it.
I appreciate that.
But I've only got a couple of hours before
That's
I get
okay.
to turn around and go home.
Go on scan this QR code and go to this website and
Remind
type
me
in
your
this
first
code.
name again, brother.
I'm Chip.
Chip, George.
George.
Thank you.
Watch the most important speech you'll ever hear, okay?
What is it, like at the top of the thing or it's simple
It's
to
a
find
really
from
cool.
it?
If you scan this QR code, you'll find it. It's pretty easy. It's a really nice speech to watch if for anything, and it's nothing wrong with getting informed, right?
I agree with you on that aspect.
Exactly.
I didn't.
And if you wanna make differences, make different choices, you have all the resources needed there. All of them are free. We just gotta choose fairness and compassion. Okay, George?
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Thank you, Chip. Have a great day.
You too.
It got really busy meanwhile. It is insanely busy right here, by the way.
Oh, that's great. I love those.
The vegan plant says, well done, Chip. I don't know. I think like he literally derailed me at every point. Every point. I mean, it was a nice conversation, and I kind of, I'm in US. I'm afraid to be mean to people because, the obvious reason why. There's guns here. But yeah, it's getting really busy here, by the way. Sensi says you're the best. Thank you, Sensi. Chip did good, but George kept escaping the topic. Yeah, I mean, at least he took a card, Maybe he'll look into it. I don't know. That's the thing, right? We gotta start having these conversations. Is abortion murder? Asks Maga Skater. It is after, after they have sentience. Sentience. But it doesn't really matter, right? Because abortion is a more complex topic. And we can debate it all day long. But the reality is, what happens to animals is easy. It's wrong. Stop it. It's wrong and you can stop. There's nothing to say there. There's no complexity to it. None. You have options. You can choose to stop. So stop. Easy. And yes, abortion has nothing to do with animals, exactly.
You want to try it? Are you okay being live on YouTube?
Yes.
What's your name?
Chad.
I'm Chip. Nice to meet you,
Nice
Chad.
to meet you.
So I'm just going to turn this around and tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
Should be legal?
Yeah.
Nah.
Why not?
Animal abuse? Are they pets? I mean, why would you want to hurt anything? Any living creature?
Maybe you get some pleasure from it.
No. If they're living and you get pleasure from beating something, then that seems like a you problem.
How would you define abuse?
If they're your pet, it's probably neglect. If they're not your pet, it's probably physical altercation, hitting.
I would say physical or emotional abuse.
If it's your pet, it's more emotional. If it's not your pet and something you're responsible for taking care of and that you've committed to giving a good life, it's probably more the physical.
I would say regardless if they're your pet or not, physical or emotional abuse is still abuse, right? Physical or emotional harm.
Yeah, physical harm for sure. Emotional, if it's not my pet, it's causing me problems. It's not somebody else's pet, a stray or something like that. I don't think there's too much emotional, but
Well,
yeah,
no, to them, it's their emotions, not yours. Emotional harm to the animal, and physical harm to the animal, right? It's not abuse. Doesn't mean that if you beat the animal, your fist hurts, right? It's about the animal feeling pain, feeling the hurt, harm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep, we can agree.
Yeah. Okay. So it's wrong to abuse cats or dogs. What about cows, chickens, pigs?
Not sure. I mean, they're not pets, so I'm not sure. I think there's a fine line between abuse and eating chicken.
Well, do you think they're not abused when you buy animal products like chicken?
I'm sure there's some emotional damage caused to the chickens, but same thing.
And physical harm, right? Because they get killed.
Yeah.
Right. So do you think we need to do any of this?
I mean, is it to the benefit of mankind? I mean, we're
Well, it's not to the benefit of mankind, but let's say, does it matter?
it does matter.
Why would it matter? Because do you think that if something benefits me, I should have the right to do whatever I want to somebody who feels pain or emotions? Should I be able to kick a dog as long as I feel pleasure from it? Just like that's why.
Again, I'm going back to if it's your pet or not.
That's not my pet. It's just a random dog on the street. Should I be able to beat them or physically harm them or emotionally
If they're causing you problems,
They're not causing me problems. I just want to get pleasure, and I go to them and I physically abuse them.
Yeah, that's probably wrong.
It's probably wrong, right?
Yeah.
So isn't that exactly what we do to chickens? They're not causing us trouble. We say, well, we can get some benefit by abusing them and consuming animal products.
No. But that's not for our emotional benefit. That's for our physical benefit and our physical well-being. So I think it's different.
So if I get I do a good workout by beating this dog, it's obviously physical benefit for me.
No. You can work out by lifting weights.
So you can also eat plants. You don't need to abuse animals, right? You don't need to be exploiting chickens.
No, I don't know if we can get all the nutrients and protein that we need from plants.
Let's say if we could. But I'm a certified nutritionist. I'm studying to be a certified nutritionist, and I can tell you that we can survive and thrive on plants and plant-based diet. But the question is, if we could, like, even if you don't believe me and you want to look and you have to look, if you could look into that and find out that maybe we could, then my
it's
question,
not financial. We also got to look at like the financial responsibility we have.
let's say financially speaking, it would be exactly the same or
Financially
around the same.
and health-wise, it's exactly the
health-wise.
same.
Well, exactly the same, or maybe even better. Or of course, depends on what you eat, right? Like every diet, like everything that you eat, will will inherently depend on you, right? Like eating meat is not inherently healthy, just like eating plant-based is not inherently healthy. You still have to maintain a proper diet yourself, right? But if you maintain a proper diet, you will get all the nutrients that you need. You will be financially okay, and you can also obviously be as healthy or even healthier. So.
Maybe.
Yeah, so
I don't consider it abuse. I consider it a lack of resources, and you kind of use what you need as the human race to advance. I've got to go.
But you have supermarkets, right?
I've got to
available,
go.
right?
I got 3 friends.
Can
over
I give
here.
you a card to look into it?
Yes.
Only if you promise me to look into it.
I will look into it.
Okay, I appreciate you. Okay, scan this code or go on this website and type in this code. Both of them achieve the same thing. And watch the most important speech you'll ever hear, okay?
Thank you.
What's your name again?
Chad.
Chad, I'm Chip. Nice to meet
Thank
you,
you.
Chad. Let's be compassionate and fair, okay? That's all it is.
arrested. He won't. We have conversations. What can we do? I think I'm up for only one more conversation, everybody. It's not going to be probably a long stream. This guy is like the typical blind consumer. Maga says, babies are more important than animals. And you're free to come here and speak about that if you want. I am here speaking about animals. Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
That's alright, man.
Okay. If I were in Europe right now, but I'm not, I'm here, I would be, like, there's so many people here. I don't know if you can see. There's a lot of people. I would be holding a little speech right now. But I'm afraid that most people here wouldn't like it. And yeah. So, and by the way, if you're just joining here, welcome to the stream. Please like it, comment it, subscribe if you're not subscribed. We do this kind of stream a lot, where we talk to people. We get some good conversations, some bad conversations, you know. We don't choose. People choose who they speak to us, so yeah. I doubt this guy will look into it, unfortunately. Yeah, who knows, you know. I would feel bad at the end of the day if I didn't at least try to give him a card. And you never know, you know, maybe he'll go there and be like, I see this card. I never thought about it. Or you know what, maybe he takes this card, puts it on a table, and somebody else picks it up. You never know what's happened. I think on Phonalytics, there was this thing showing that, like, sending flyers to people is actually one of the most efficient ways to do activism. So in that sense, giving cards like this, maybe 50% or I don't know, a large portion of people won't look into it, but you never know where the road of that card will be. You never know what people will eventually do with it. So yeah.
Talking? My wife was right behind her.
You guys want to try a social experiment?
Goes down. She trips right on top of Sarah, and I turned back and my wife was laying right on top of Sarah.
It is insanely busy.
Sure. What are you doing?
Doom96, where are you streaming from? I am streaming from North Carolina right now. Charlotte, North Carolina. I normally stream from Amsterdam, but I'm in North Carolina, so I'm streaming from here. What time is it at your place? It's 11 p.m. here in Germany. It is 6 p.m. right now. And yeah, there's a game happening. That's why there's a lot of people with their team T-shirts. I think the game happens in 1 hour, so I'm just here trying to have conversations with people. Let's see. You want to try a social experiment? Yeah. Are you okay being live on YouTube?
What is the social experiment?
I just ask you some questions to get you to think.
Okay.
What's your name? I'm Chip.
I'm Cam.
Cam, nice to meet you. How about you?
Sheila.
Sheila, nice to meet you, Sheila and Cam. Okay, I'm gonna turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
I do not think animal abuse should be legal
Why not?
because they're our friends.
What if they're not our friends? They're just random animals.
I think that
Abuse is still wrong.
I think abuse is wrong to put something through agonizing torture for no reason other than to put it through torture. That's very bad.
What if it is for the sake of pleasure, for getting pleasure?
Oh, absolutely
That
not.
is sadistic. That's very bad. You should not get pleasure from hurting anything.
No,
else.
but maybe you get pleasure as a side product of abusing an animal.
Then you should probably talk to someone about that.
Okay, how would you define abuse? Let's put it that.
Neglecting the basic needs of any living thing that you could give it. Like if you could give it its basic needs and you choose not to, we call that abuse.
Or doing anything that will hurt it.
Yeah.
And cause it pain, discomfort.
I would say physical or emotional harm. Is that a good definition?
That's pretty good. I'd take that.
Okay. So it's wrong to abuse cats or dogs.
I would not abuse a cat or a dog.
What about cows, chickens, pigs?
I would eat a cow, chicken, or pig.
Do you think there's abuse behind that?
I don't want it to be tortured before I eat it.
I mean, if you're torturing the cow, that's a problem. But I really like eating the cow. I do love eating.
So you get pleasure from it.
Flavor, yeah, I do
Yeah.
get good flavor.
Look, there's Luke. Come on in here, Luke.
Come here, Luke.
So you just said that abusing an animal is wrong, even if you get a byproduct of us pleasure.
Yeah, but I didn't say flavor. Like chickens and cows and pigs, they're just so good.
But do you think you can get flavor without abusing animals, like from plant-based products?
Oh, that's not very good flavor.
Well, maybe you haven't tried it, but like, do you think you can?
I've definitely tried vegan food, like plant-based burgers. That doesn't taste the same.
Because my question is, do you think that the taste difference justifies taking the life of an innocent sentient being?
Well, describe sentient.
Well, sentient means they have a subjective experience, they have emotions.
Yeah, but sentient means that they know they're living. Like, I know
They
I
know.
am.
And they also know, yes.
I don't think that they know that they're a cow. I don't think they know we're humans.
Does a dog know that's a dog?
No.
Is it wrong to do that to them?
I don't do it to them.
But why not? What's the difference between a dog and a cow that it's okay to do to a dog, but it's okay to do to a cow, but not a dog?
Because dogs have been domesticated.
Cows
to
are
work
also
class-
domesticated animals.
No, they're a part of agriculture.
Well, they're domesticated, yeah.
No, they're a part of agriculture.
Well,
Just like a wheat field, they're a part of
but you
agriculture.
can put dogs also to be part of agriculture. It doesn't mean anything.
As a assistant
just
to
a
humans
role.
as herding, but we don't eat them because they're not a part of agriculture.
Well, that's just
'cause
the
they're
role that
our
you give
assistant.
them. Do you think that the role that we give to individuals matters? Or do you think that their individual experience matters?
It's calling you.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep eating cows because they're delicious.
So you're gonna keep abusing cows because it's delicious?
I've never abused a single cow.
No, but you pay for somebody to do it for you.
I don't pay
So
anyone
in that
to
sense,
abuse-
also the human who abuses the cow suffers. Also the cow suffers.
the person who abuses the cow suffers?
Yes, of course. The people who work in slaughterhouses, they have PTSD. There are actually studies showing that they have mental issues because they're working in these places.
I don't know, man. I know farmers that raise and slaughter cows, and they're pretty damn happy.
They're pretty damn happy. Yeah.
They are.
What about the victims, the animals?
Well, victims is a pretty loose word. They don't know what's happening.
Also, if they don't know, it's okay to do something to somebody else if they don't know what's happening to them.
Well, I mean,
So if
they're
a girl-
not someone. They're not someone. They're
Are
something.
they an object?
Yeah, just like a tree is a living object. They're
Well,
not
no,
a person.
because animals have personalities.
Trees have personalities. They grow in all sorts of different
Trees don't
shapes.
have
and forms.
personalities,
They
no.
absolutely do.
I mean, dude, you're live, by the way. You're just gonna embarrass yourself by saying that trees have personalities. I'm gonna give you a second chance, but trees obviously do not have personalities. They're just mechanistic life. They're very intelligent, mechanistic life.
Okay. Cows are
They're
very.
not sentient. They don't have emotions. They don't have a subjective experience.
So
Cows
if I had
have
a
all
cow
that.
right here, you could tell me if he was happy or sad. Could the cow tell you if he was happy or sad?
But that doesn't mean that they're not. Just
That
because
doesn't
they
mean
can't
they-
tell you doesn't
yeah.
mean that they're not happy or sad.
But you can't prove that they are.
Well,
So-
there's studies. There's actually the Declaration of Consciousness that says that cows are sentient. This is done by multiple laureates of Nobel Prizes and stuff. Like,
Dude, you know what? I think you're right. You have changed my mind here, and I appreciate you taking the time to teach
I
me.
mean, you
about
don't have to say this. I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
being for real,
you
man.
have to,
Thank
you have
you.
to at least
Thank
think
you for
about the
helping
animal
me.
victims
Thank
for a
you for
second.
helping me.
You can't just.
Frustrating. He was stupid. I'm sorry, I don't want to say this about people, but he was stupid. Go vegan. Thanks for your hard work, Chips and Sensi. Thank you so much, Sensi, for the donation, for the support. Some people are stupid. I mean, guys, I have a burger. Are you going to kill me? Am I going to buy burger? What the fuck, guys? Yes.
I'm sorry, I just get really annoyed by people like this, who they're stupid and they think they're smart, because this guy thought he's smart, but he obviously was stupid. And yes, you can judge stupid people. Sensi says, but the cow tastes so good. Can trees whisper sweet nothings to me? Imagine thinking trees have personality. What the fuck? Hey, you wanna try? I ask you some questions, get you to think a little bit,
Ask me questions and what?
and then get you to think a bit.
You have your camera on me?
Yeah, it's there. It's live on YouTube. Are you okay with that?
Where's it going to?
Say that again?
Are you a YouTuber?
Yeah. It's live on my YouTube channel.
Great, ask a question.
Okay, how do you feel about oppression?
Depression?
Oppression. Are you for it or are you against it?
I'm kind of against it.
Against
Where
it.
are you from?
I'm originally from Netherlands. I'm actually originally from Romania, but I live in the Netherlands and I'm now here visiting my sister. So, do you think that the powerful should have the right to oppress the powerless?
No.
Even if the powerful get some form of benefit from it?
No.
And even if the powerless don't realize that they're oppressed?
No.
Okay, so how do you feel about the animals that we force into slaughterhouses for us?
I know where you're going with this.
Are we oppressing them?
It depends. It depends on how you feel about that. It depends on how you feel about the nature of life.
Well, oppression means cruel or unjust treatment, right? Given that we can survive and thrive without doing...
If you cut a corn off a stalk, that's pretty aggressive and oppressive.
Well, they don't have emotions, they don't have sentience, whereas animals do.
They do too. Plants have senses.
Well, no, sentience is an emerging property of brains or central nervous systems. Plants don't have any of that.
Yes, they do.
Let's say even if you think that plants do, when you eat an animal product, you kill more plants because more plants are needed because the animals also have to be fed plants.
No, you don't kill more plants.
Yes,
You kill the
animals are
animal.
fed plants also.
Yeah, but if you kill the animal, they're not eating the plants.
But when you kill an animal, you're also killing all the plants that animal ate, right? Because that animal
They
killed some
already
plants.
killed the plants when they ate them.
It's the same, right? You understand what you mean? Sorry, guys. When did you arrive in the US? I'm Sam Smith. Almost a week ago, something like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day, everybody. I'm just like, it's just chippy. I sent you a message on Instagram and followed you, my friend Sanctuary. You know what? I'm not gonna call it a day yet. I'm not done yet. Fuck this. Some people. I don't get that stupid people all often. So, shall we turn around the sign and see what people think? As humans, we are the most superior animals on earth. Superior animals kill others. That's a fact. 100% been happening since ancient times. Just because we have power over somebody doesn't mean we get to oppress them, Mr. Dean Trainer. And just because we've been doing it for a long time, it doesn't mean doesn't make it right. I'm just saying. See, I turned around the sign. But there's nobody here, so I'll just turn around to the car. There were some good conversations.
Damn, you got the ticket. Alright, we going. You ready? Let's go. What you got going on, dude?
It says animal abuse should be legal.
Oh, yeah, it should be, for sure.
Joanna? Do you agree with the sign?
Do I agree with the sign?
It says animal abuse should be legal.
I know, I read it coming in. I see.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No? Why not?
Personally, no. I think it's immoral.
To abuse animals.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'll tell you what I think in a minute, but let me just try to establish a moral baseline for you.
Sure.
So you think abusing animals is wrong? What do you say constitutes as abuse?
Constitutes as abuse.
Like, how would you define it?
Oh, is this vegan?
Yeah, I'm vegan. Yes.
Okay, got it. I personally would define it As you know, I'll actually grant you that being vegan is probably the most moral approach. We probably all have a moral duty to not eat meat, not only for the sake of animal rights, but also for the environment.
Fair enough.
From what I've read, agriculture is pretty rough on the environment.
It is.
So I'll grant you that, being vegan is probably the most moral choice you can make. I'm personally not vegan, but it's probably the moral choice. Yeah.
I want you to leave here with knowing some information. So first of all, I am vegan, that is true.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm sitting here is not because I'm vegan, but because I'm an animal rights activist, right?
Okay,
So
awesome.
there's a distinction, right?
Yeah.
So if you see people yelling at people about the animals or stuff, it's because they're animal rights activists, not vegans, right? So if
Okay.
you can be vegan and not yell at animals, I'm just trying to point that out.
Yeah,
first of
no,
all,
that
right?
makes sense. Yeah.
Veganism, what do you think being vegan is?
Being vegan, as I understand it, is not consuming any animal products at all.
Yeah. So
Right.
being vegan is not a diet.
Right.
It's a moral stance where we say animals should not be exploited for us.
Okay.
That means we don't consume them for food, for clothing, for entertainment or any other cause, right? Because it's all optional to us and we can survive and thrive without doing this.
Okay, yeah.
So the reason why I do this experiment where I show that animal abuse should be legal is because a lot of people say, well, it's wrong to abuse cats and dogs, but then
Right.
they turn around and say cows, chickens, and pigs is okay.
Right.
How do you feel about this?
Yeah, so it seems that we draw this weird line between like what constitutes, to your point, like domestication versus non-domestication. Why do we draw the line there? I totally agree. Pigs are incredibly smart.
Exactly.
I grew up with a family friend who owned cows, and the one was blind, and it could still navigate by memory in and out of the barn. I mean, probably a little bit of smell and hearing too, but I mean, cows aren't dumb either. And so, yeah, it is strange how we draw the line. My parents have a dog, and it is dumb as hell. I'm sure there are many pigs that are smarter than my parents' dog, partly. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's
But do
strange.
you think intelligence is the line that we should draw?
You know, I think that's probably what we're just most predisposed to do. Like, we're the most intelligent being, as far as we know, in the universe.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think we all view things through a lens of like how much agency does something have, how much free will might something have. And I think that the foundation of that is probably intelligence and just degree of consciousness in general.
So in that sense, if we find a less intelligent human being who is like intellectually challenged,
it's a fair point.
Should we exploit them?
That's a fair point. People would disagree with that, and I would too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then maybe it isn't intelligence, right?
Right.
I would say ask me actually what you want to ask.
Well, I mean, but it's interesting how far can we take that logic though? Because like, are you familiar with like panpsychism?
Say that again.
Panpsychism at all? Like this idea that even plants can have some degree of consciousness.
Well, as far as we know, consciousness is an emerging property of brains and central nervous systems.
Some people disagree with that.
Some people disagree, but like the current science is in that point, right? So we can agree. So I'll explain to you in a minute why that argument isn't necessarily against veganism, because first of all, that's the current science that these plants are not sentient.
Yeah.
Second of all, we know for sure that these animals are sentient. So if we think that it's wrong to kill somebody sentient, then we should say we stop at animals.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of people justify it by saying plants are sentient in the sense that saying, well, it doesn't matter because we're killing a sentient being anyway, but when we kill plants, right? So they're saying our choice is between killing a sentient animal or killing a sentient plant, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that these animals have to be fed plants anyway. So if you believe that plants are sentient, then even when you're vegan, you're still killing monumentally less plants, right?
That's true.
So you would still be arriving at less sentient beings if you believe they're sentient. I don't believe they're sentient, but if you believe they're sentient, you're still arriving in a better place.
I like
right?
that a lot. Yeah. It seems sound to me.
So what is keeping you from not being vegan?
I personally just feel better when I eat meat. Poultry, fish, I feel better personally. I can recognize that the most moral choice for me would be to go vegan, but I personally am not willing to sacrifice feeling good as much as I can.
But if you found a way to feel good also on a plant-based diet, would that work for you?
I'm not sure. It might. I've tried it before, and it just didn't work out.
But maybe you didn't
try less energy, and you're probably true.
Right, because a lot of the people, when they try a plant-based diet, a lot of the times they get into this point where they don't consume enough calories, they don't consume enough protein, because eating plants is much more filling than eating animal plant products.
I totally agree.
Because there's more
and you look
fiber
like you're
to
in
it.
shape. And
I'm in shape. You can obviously get enough protein and everything that you want from plants.
Yeah.
So in that sense,
Probably nothing then. Probably just social conditioning.
Social conditioning.
Yeah.
I appreciate, man. I like your open-mindedness. It's nice. I talked to a lot of people here, and I got a couple of open-minded people, but you're another one.
Oh, thanks,
I
man.
appreciate
I appreciate
seeing
that.
it. What's your name, by the way?
I'm Jared.
Jared.
Yeah.
I'm Chip. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Did I hear you say you're from the Netherlands?
I'm from the Netherlands. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm originally. So I'm actually I was born in Romania. I live now in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, and I'm here visiting my sister in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's
and
awesome.
I thought that.
Welcome to Charlotte.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I love that there's a place where people are walking because
Yeah.
normally people drive everywhere. So I couldn't put my camera somewhere.
Yeah, that's definitely a very American experience. Is
Yeah.
seeing how much we've modified our cities to fit all these damn cars.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
in Netherlands we bike everywhere. So
Yeah,
it's,
I know. It's a beautiful,
Yeah.
man. I love that country. I've been to Amsterdam a couple times. I've been to Veganism. I don't know. I love the Netherlands. So yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So bringing it a little bit back to the animals,
Yeah.
I feel like, let's say, do you think that you have a moral responsibility to find a way to make it work for you in a sense, so that we don't exploit any more sentient beings?
When it comes down to it, I probably would. Yeah, I'm probably dropping the ball on that moral responsibility. Probably. Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. So if
Yeah.
I give you some resources to help you with this, do you think you can look into it?
I think that I could probably figure out how to orient my diet in a way that was vegan and still feel good. I would know how to get enough protein. I would know how to maybe not go into ketosis all the time and not have energy. I'd probably be able to do it.
Okay, let me just to put it in another perspective. Do you know anything about the dairy industry?
Is that bad too?
Do you know what happens with the dairy? Why do cows produce milk, for example?
Why do cows produce milk?
Yeah.
Like the same reason that any mammal would produce milk, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You know that. I didn't know that. For me, I always thought that cows just eat grass and produce milk. But you're right. They're mammals. They have to have babies in order to produce milk.
Right.
So farmers, they forcefully impregnate them. Somebody literally puts their hands in their anus to hold their cervix, and they inject blue semen in their vagina. This is standard practice. After 9 months, when the baby is born, what do you think happens to them?
They're probably slaughtered.
Well, the first thing that happens is they get separated from their mothers because they would drink their mother's milk otherwise. And if they're male, yes, they get slaughtered.
Yeah.
Or they get left to die out of hunger, depending on the farm.
Yeah.
And if they're female, year over year, forceful impregnation, just like their mothers, for 6 to 8 years. After which they can no longer impregnate them with ease, and then they all go to a slaughterhouse, and they can live up to 25 years, so they don't live even half their life, and it's a miserable life to begin with, where they just get exploited and have their babies taken from them, right?
Yeah.
This is what got me to be vegan, learning about this kind of stuff, and I thought, I lived in the Netherlands, and I thought there's no way this is happening here, because you see happy cows outside, but it's happening there also. It's happening everywhere. Small farms, large farms, all of them do the same thing.
I believe that. Yeah, I read this perspective that we'll look back in 150 years and consider this time period like an animal holocaust, so to speak. I've read that perspective. Yeah.
I mean, you're almost there, man. What are you doing? Why aren't you?
I don't know. Probably social conditioning.
Yeah, social conditioning. But do you think we should?
Better.
Yeah, we shouldn't be doing this, right? We shouldn't be allowing social conditioning, because I understand the social conditioning aspect, but we shouldn't be allowing that to dictate things where there's victims, right?
Yeah. You should do this with Sam Harris. Are you familiar with Sam Harris?
No, who's Sam Harris?
He's just he's a more popular philosopher. He was kind of big back in the early 2000s. He was kind of the first to write really controversial anti-religion books and hit the mainstream. And he personally also stakes the claim that it's our moral responsibility to go vegan, and he personally loves steak and eats chicken, and it's strange. But I'm saying the same thing, so
Yeah, exactly. But we can't be when we say one thing and do another, we're called hypocrites, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we don't want to be hypocrites, and we don't want to be apathetic towards animals, what animals go through, right? If we're apathetic, I think apathetic is the word. It's just wrong, right? It's like imagine just one metaphor to put in. Like imagine if there's a person kicking a dog right here. What would you do? Would you go and join them to kick the dog? Would you walk by, do nothing, or would you tell them to stop?
Right. Yeah. Everyone's gonna say I'm gonna run over and stop, unless they're not well adjusted.
Exactly. But just because we don't see what's happening to the animals, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, right?
Right.
And when we pay for animal products, we support it. It's like us going there and joining them to kick them.
Okay, so I only got 2 minutes because we're gonna go grab some links. But I want to ask you a question. What do you think about the idea and the perspective that we are mammals too? You mentioned cows being mammals producing milk. What would you say about the perspective that we're just the top of the food chain? is it because we do have an understanding of our own actions that thus follows we have a moral right?
Yeah, we're
Whereas-
moral agents.
Right.
They're moral patients, number one. And number two, even if they weren't moral patients, just because we have power over somebody, it
Doesn't mean we should exercise
doesn't mean we should exercise it, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
And it means more than anything that we should have stewardship. We should take care of these animals, not exploit them for our own benefit, right?
Yeah.
Especially when we have alternatives, when we have other choices,
Yep,
which
that's
we
fair.
do.
That's
Right?
fair. Well, thank you, man.
Challenge 22, they hook you up with a nutritionist, send you vegan recipes every day for 22 days. It's all free. Kind of sounds like what you need.
Awesome.
Yeah, and one thing that's really cool if you want to watch, scan this code, or go on this website and type in this code. Same result will happen. There's a thing there called the most important speech you'll ever hear. You gonna promise me you watch that?
I'll watch it.
Okay,
I'll
I
watch
appreciate it. It's
You
a
said
really
your name
good
was
speech.
Chip?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Chip.
Nice to meet you. You said
Yeah.
Jared?
Yes.
Yeah, nice to meet you,
Enjoy
Jared.
Charlotte.
Yeah, thank you.
She didn't
Have a
want
good
to
one.
go out. She was like, no, I don't.
This was a very interesting convo. His bottom line is my convenience cultural conditioning, though. Hopefully he will realize there are terrible excuses, says Lewis. Yeah. I mean, I think he was. I think he was nice. It's nice to see when when people are willing to engage with the argument and they're not just willing to bite the bullet and be like, oh, you know what? I am like this. You know what? It's okay. But just because they're afraid to admit that what they're doing is wrong. So I take what I can get, and I don't want to. I feel like I started changing a little bit of my activism in a sense where I'm trying more to approach people how I would want to be approached. And I feel like if anybody on the street would be bullshitting me or would be acting nasty towards me, I would either ignore them or move out of my way. So I'm trying to be nice to people. I'm trying to get them to see their perspective because I really want people to change. And I also want people everybody who's watching here, if you're not vegan, you should know that animal rights activists, we care about the animals. Sometimes we're more passionate and we yell at people. I'm sorry about that, but we just care about the animals. We do it for them, and we're nice, as you can see, right? But yeah, I think that's it, everybody. I think I need to go anyway because it's getting really busy. really busy, like it's insanely busy. There's cars everywhere, there's people everywhere. And yeah, if you're not subscribed and you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that like. Tell me what I could have improved on these conversations. Some of them were a little bit cringe. And yeah, if you're not vegan, please go vegan. Try Challenge 22. Try the most important speech you'll ever hear. I'll put all the links in the description here if you're not vegan. Please subscribe anyway if you're not vegan. You might enjoy some of the conversations we have. If you are vegan, please speak up for people. It's, you see, you can have some decent conversations, you can have some shitty conversations, but please speak up. And yeah, what else can I say? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, all of you. I especially appreciate all the support that you've given me with all the donations. I full-heartedly, it's amazing. Thank you for helping. All this money will help me go back to my sister, and as I came here, and I'll come back there. So thank you so much for supporting me with this. And yes, live vegan, love vegan, and let's show some compassion and some fairness. And by the way, veganism is not political, okay? I have my political opinions, but being vegan is not political at all. You can be vegan and Republican, you can be vegan and liberal, you can be vegan in any way, okay? Keep that in mind, please. It's about the animals, it's about animal rights. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Have an awesome day, and let's be vegan, okay? It's International Vegan Day. Happy International Vegan Day. Happy Non-Exploitation Day, okay? Happy Liberty Day. This is where we celebrate liberty. Chip is a tourist in America. He can't vote officially. Yeah, I can't vote, Leon. That's true. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, all of you, for being here. And yeah, subscribe, like, all that beautiful things. Bye-bye, everybody. Have an awesome day, or evening, or night for everybody else.